Have you ever stood in front of your refrigerator, tired and hungry, and reached for last night's leftovers? It feels like a small victory, a quick, convenient, and seemingly responsible choice. You pop it in the microwave, hear the familiar hum, and in minutes, your meal is ready. But what if that simple act of reheating, a habit practiced in kitchens all over the world, was secretly undermining your health? What if some of our most common and beloved foods, when subjected to a second round of heat, transform into silent saboteurs, releasing compounds that could contribute to digestive distress, chronic inflammation, and even long-term damage to your most vital organs, including your brain? This modern ritual, born from a desire to save time and reduce food waste, pits our contemporary lifestyles against the ancient, immutable laws of food chemistry. We see a container of leftover pasta or a slice of frittata and perceive it as unchanged, a static object waiting to be reanimated. The reality, however, is that from the moment it cools, food is a dynamic chemical environment. Bacteria begin their work, proteins start to shift, and fats begin to oxidize in a slow, invisible process. The blast of intense, often uneven heat from a microwave or a hot pan doesn't just warm the food, it accelerates these chemical reactions, pushing them into territories that can be actively hostile to our biology. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about empowerment. In the chapters that follow, we will pull back the curtain on a hidden battlefield within your kitchen, revealing 5 everyday foods that medical experts and nutritionists advise against reheating. These are not obscure or exotic ingredients, but staples you likely have in your fridge right now. We will delve into the surprising science that explains how the very chemistry of these foods can shift, turning a once healthy meal into a potential threat. Prepare to discover not just what to avoid, but the crucial reasons why, so you can arm yourself with the knowledge to make smarter, healthier choices that protect your body, sharpen your mind, and help you feel your absolute best day after day. Let us begin by exploring the hidden dangers of reheating spinach, a vegetable that is the undisputed hero of the nutritional world. We blend it into vibrant green smoothies for a morning boost of chlorophyll and antioxidants. We sauté it with fragrant garlic for a simple yet elegant side dish that complements almost any protein. We layer it into rich, savory lasagnas to add depth and nutrients, and we toss it fresh into salads for a dose of pure, unadulterated nutrition, celebrated for its incredible density of vitamins A, C, and K, along with essential minerals like iron, magnesium, and powerful antioxidants such as lutein and zeaxanthin. Spinach is a go-to for anyone looking to elevate their health and protect their long-term wellness. Yet, a common kitchen practice, reheating this leafy green after it has been cooked, cooled, and stored, can cause this nutritional champion to reveal a surprising and concerning dark side, turning it from a superfood into a source of potential harm. At the core of this alarming issue are compounds called nitrates, which spinach, along with other leafy greens and root vegetables like celery and beets, contains in naturally high and perfectly healthy amounts. In their fresh, raw, or freshly cooked form, these nitrates are not only harmless but are actually beneficial, acting as precursors to nitric oxide in the body, a molecule that helps to support healthy blood flow, lower blood pressure, and even improve athletic performance by enhancing oxygen delivery to muscles. The problem, and indeed the danger, begins when the delicate chemistry of the cooked spinach is altered by time and temperature. When you cook a batch of spinach, let it cool, and then store it, especially for an extended period in the refrigerator, a subtle but significant transformation begins. Harmless bacteria that are naturally present on the leaves and in the environment can start to metabolize those healthy nitrates, converting them into a more problematic compound, nitrites. The real danger, however, is ignited during the reheating process. When subjected to a second round of high heat, particularly the intense and uneven thermal energy of a microwave, these newly formed nitrites can undergo a further chemical reaction, converting into nitrosamines. This is a class of potent compounds that have been extensively studied and flagged by major global health organizations, including the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer, for their well-documented carcinogenic properties. Nitrosamines are not a minor or hypothetical concern. A substantial body of scientific research has linked long-term cumulative exposure to these compounds with an increased risk of developing various forms of cancer, especially those affecting the delicate lining of the digestive system, such as esophageal, stomach, and colorectal cancer. But the risk does not stop with the digestive tract. Emerging and increasingly compelling science is now suggesting that nitrosamines may also play a role in contributing to neurological damage over time. For older adults, this risk is magnified exponentially. As we age, our body's natural defense and repair systems, including the production of antioxidant enzymes and the efficiency of our cellular cleanup crews, become less robust. The biological machinery that once worked tirelessly to identify, neutralize, and detoxify harmful substances slows down, making us far more susceptible to the cumulative, incremental effects of dietary toxins. Chronic exposure to even low levels of nitrosamines from seemingly innocent sources, like reheated vegetables, can fuel a state of systemic inflammation, a persistent, low-grade fire within the body that is now understood to be a primary culprit in cognitive decline, memory loss, and the development of devastating neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Imagine this very common and relatable scenario. You make a large, hearty, and wonderfully healthy batch of lentil and spinach soup on a Sunday afternoon, with the clever intention of enjoying nutritious, ready-made lunches for the busy week ahead. On Tuesday, you ladle a generous serving into a bowl and place it in the microwave. While it emerges hot and tastes perfectly fine, the reheated spinach suspended within that comforting soup may now contain newly formed nitrosamines that were not present when it was freshly cooked. Repeating this seemingly harmless habit week after week, year after year, can lead to a slow, silent, and invisible accumulation of these harmful compounds, potentially contributing to serious health issues that seem to appear out of nowhere decades later. The solution, thankfully, is not to banish this wonderful vegetable from your kitchen. Instead, it is about adopting smarter, more scientifically informed habits. Prioritize eating spinach fresh in salads and smoothies, or consuming cooked spinach dishes entirely in one sitting to avoid leftovers. If you do have leftovers from a dish containing spinach, consider enjoying them cold the next day, perhaps as a chilled soup or mixed into a vibrant grain salad with a lemon tahini dressing. If you absolutely must reheat it, do so gently on a stovetop over a very low and controlled heat, stirring frequently to ensure even warming, and never, under any circumstances, reheat it more than once. By understanding this simple yet crucial piece of food science, you can continue to harness the immense power of this nutrient-packed vegetable, ensuring it remains a powerful and unwavering ally for your health, not a hidden threat lurking in your refrigerator. We now turn our attention to another beloved staple, the humble potato, and explore why reheated potatoes can quietly disrupt your health in ways you might never suspect. Potatoes are the ultimate comfort food, an affordable and incredibly versatile tuber that forms the cornerstone of countless comforting and cherished meals across the globe. Whether they are mashed to a creamy, buttery perfection alongside a savory roast, roasted in the oven until their skins are golden and crisp and their insides are fluffy, baked whole until they split open to receive a dollop of sour cream, or simmered gently in a hearty, soul-warming stew, their culinary flexibility is unmatched. They provide us with energy, potassium, and vitamin C, and they have sustained populations for centuries. However, a little known and often overlooked risk emerges from the common cycle of cooking, cooling, and subsequently reheating potatoes, a process that can fundamentally change their internal structure and create a surprisingly ideal environment where hidden and potent dangers can flourish. This insidious transformation can pose particular and significant risks to your digestive and neurological well-being, especially when the potatoes are handled and stored improperly after their initial cooking. When potatoes are first cooked, whether by boiling, baking, or roasting, their complex starches undergo a process called gelatinization, which makes them soft, palatable, and easily digestible by our bodies. As these cooked potatoes cool, however, a different process called retrogradation begins to occur. During retrogradation, some of these gelatinized starches rearrange their molecular structure, crystallizing into a form known as resistant starch. In moderation, this resistant starch can be highly beneficial for our health as it bypasses digestion in the small intestine and travels to the large intestine, where it acts as a valuable prebiotic, a food source that nourishes and promotes the growth of our healthy gut bacteria, thereby supporting a balanced microbiome. The trouble, however, arises not from the resistant starch itself, but from what else can happen during that crucial cooling and storage period. If cooked potatoes are left to cool slowly at room temperature for an extended period, for example sitting on the countertop for several hours, they can enter the temperature danger zone between 40 degrees and 140 degrees, or 4 C and 60 C, where bacteria multiply rapidly. This risk is dramatically amplified if the potatoes are wrapped tightly in aluminum foil, a common practice for baked potatoes. This foil wrapping creates a low oxygen or anaerobic environment, which is the perfect breeding ground for a particularly dangerous bacterium called Clostridium botulinum. This is the bacterium responsible for producing the botulinum neurotoxin, the cause of botulism, a rare but potentially fatal illness that attacks the body's nerves. These toxins are completely odorless, tasteless, and entirely invisible, meaning you cannot see, smell, or taste the profound danger that may be lurking within a seemingly harmless leftover potato. When you then take these improperly cooled and stored potatoes and attempt to reheat them, particularly in a microwave, which is notorious for its uneven heating patterns that create hot and cold spots, you may not successfully kill all the Clostridium botulinum spores, nor will the heat necessarily neutralize the potent neurotoxins that have already been formed. For an older adult, this risk is especially pronounced and must be taken seriously. With advancing age, the immune system naturally becomes less robust and responsive, and the digestive system, including the acidic barrier of the stomach, becomes less efficient, making the body significantly more vulnerable to the devastating effects of foodborne pathogens and their toxins. Furthermore, the burgeoning and exciting field of research on the gut-brain axis has unequivocally demonstrated a direct, powerful, and bidirectional communication highway between the health of our gut and our cognitive function. The introduction of harmful bacteria or their toxic byproducts into the gut can trigger a cascade of chronic, low-grade inflammation. This inflammation does not just stay confined to the gut. The inflammatory signals can travel throughout the body via the bloodstream, cross the blood-brain barrier, and contribute to a state of neuroinflammation, which has been strongly linked to an increased risk of cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. That seemingly innocent act of microwaving yesterday's foil-wrapped baked potato could, over the course of many years of repeated behavior, contribute to a systemic inflammatory state that subtly but surely impacts both your physical vitality and your mental clarity. To continue enjoying potatoes safely and to reap their considerable nutritional benefits without worry, a few simple and easy to implement precautions are all that it takes. Whenever possible, make a conscious effort to cook only the amount of potatoes you and your family plan to eat fresh in one meal. If you do have leftovers, it is absolutely crucial to cool them as quickly as possible and store them in a shallow, airtight container in the refrigerator, and never leave them wrapped in foil. Rapid cooling minimizes the time that the potatoes spend in the bacterial danger zone. When it comes time to reheat, graciously opt for an oven, a toaster oven, or a stovetop skillet to ensure the potato is heated through evenly and to a safe internal temperature. Critically, never reheat potatoes more than once. By being deeply mindful of how you cook, cool, store, and reheat this beloved and humble staple, you can continue to enjoy its comforting and satisfying goodness without inadvertently inviting silent and serious health risks to your dinner table. Next, we must address the problem with reheating eggs, a food that is often hailed as the perfect package of nutrition and serves as a cornerstone of meals from the first light of breakfast to the last bite of dinner. Prized for their exceptional affordability, their remarkable culinary versatility, and their high-quality protein-rich profile, eggs are a non-negotiable staple in kitchens around the world. Whether they are scrambled to fluffy perfection, fried sunny side up with a liquid gold yolk, hard-boiled for a quick and portable snack, or folded gently into elegant frittatas and savory quiches, eggs provide a complete source of protein essential for building and maintaining muscle mass, especially as we age. They are also packed with a wealth of essential nutrients, including vitamin D, vitamin B12, selenium, and most notably choline, a vital nutrient that plays a crucial role in brain health by supporting neurotransmitter synthesis, memory, and mood regulation. Despite their overwhelmingly wholesome and positive reputation, the common and seemingly benign habit of reheating cooked eggs, especially when done with the intense, rapid, and often uneven heat generated by a microwave, can transform this nutritional powerhouse into something that poses subtle yet significant health risks to our digestive and cardiovascular systems. When you first cook an egg, its complex proteins undergo a beneficial chemical change known as denaturation. The heat causes the tightly coiled protein strands to unfold and link together, creating a solid, digestible structure. This is what turns the clear, viscous egg white into a firm, opaque solid. However, reheating already cooked eggs initiates a second, less desirable round of chemical changes that can compromise both their safety and their nutritional integrity. One of the most immediately noticeable changes involves the further breakdown and tightening of their natural proteins, causing them to become unusually dense, tough, and unpleasantly rubbery. This altered texture is more than just a culinary disappointment. It makes the proteins significantly harder for your body to digest. This can lead to a range of uncomfortable digestive symptoms, including bloating, gas, indigestion, and a general feeling of heaviness or discomfort in the stomach, particularly for individuals who already have more sensitive digestive systems or those whose production of digestive enzymes has naturally declined with age. More concerning than the textural degradation, however, is the invisible chemical transformation that happens to the cholesterol contained within the egg yolk. When the yolk is exposed to high heat for a second time, its cholesterol molecules can become damaged through a process called oxidation, forming harmful compounds known as oxysterols, or oxidized cholesterol products. A growing body of scientific research has linked the consumption of these oxysterols to an increase in systemic inflammation throughout the body and a higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease. These compounds are believed to be more atherogenic than regular cholesterol, meaning they can more easily contribute to the dangerous buildup of plaque in the arteries, a condition known as atherosclerosis, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes. This systemic inflammation is also now widely recognized as a primary driver of cognitive decline and the pathogenesis of neurodegenerative conditions. For older adults whose bodies are already more susceptible to the cumulative and damaging effects of chronic inflammation, this is a critical and often overlooked consideration. The seemingly harmless and convenient act of microwaving leftover scrambled eggs from breakfast or a slice of last night's quiche could, when repeated over time, contribute to the very health issues like heart disease and memory impairment that a healthy diet rich in eggs is supposed to help prevent. To continue enjoying the immense and undeniable benefits of eggs without inadvertently exposing yourself to these risks, it is always best to cook them fresh and consume them immediately. If you find it convenient to cook them in batches, such as hard-boiling a few at the start of the week for easy snacks or meal additions, it is far wiser to enjoy them cold. They are absolutely delicious, sliced into a fresh garden salad, mashed with a bit of avocado or yogurt to make a healthy sandwich filling, or simply eaten whole with a sprinkle of salt and pepper as a protein-packed snack to stave off afternoon hunger. If you absolutely must reheat an egg-based dish like a frittata or a casserole, it is imperative that you do so gently and evenly. Use a skillet on the stove top over low heat or place it in a low temperature oven until just warm through. It is crucial to avoid the microwave at all costs, as its intense localized heating tends to create the rubbery texture and dangerous hot spots that can accelerate the formation of these harmful compounds. By rethinking how you handle your leftover eggs, you can confidently ensure that this incredible and versatile food remains a pure source of nourishment and vitality, actively supporting your brain, your heart, and your overall health for many years to come. Similarly, reheating chicken can become a silent trigger of inflammation, a process that deserves our careful consideration. Chicken is a beloved and ubiquitous staple in countless households across the world, celebrated for its leanness, its adaptability to a vast array of cuisines and flavor profiles, and its well-earned reputation as a healthy source of high-quality protein. Whether it is grilled to smoky perfection at a summer barbecue, roasted whole to a glistening golden brown for a family dinner, or baked as lean breasts for healthy meal prep, chicken is a go-to food for building strong muscles, maintaining a healthy weight, and supporting a balanced diet. Consequently, cooking a large batch of chicken at the start of the week for use in quick salads, sandwiches, and grain bowls later on is an extremely common time-saving strategy for busy individuals and families. It seems eminently practical, efficient, and health-conscious. However, there is a surprising and important truth you may not have considered. Reheating that cooked chicken, particularly using the high and uneven heat of a microwave, can fundamentally alter its complex protein structure in a way that triggers significant digestive issues and promotes a state of silent, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. When you first cook raw chicken, the application of heat beneficially breaks down its dense collagen and muscle fibers, a process that not only kills harmful pathogens like salmonella, but also makes the protein tender, juicy, and easy for your body to digest and absorb. However, when you subject that already cooked chicken to a second round of heat, the delicate protein structures are forced to change yet again. This time, they often become even denser, more tangled, and more rigid as the protein molecules recoagulate in a different, more compact formation. This is precisely why reheated chicken, especially when it comes out of a microwave, can so often taste dry, tough, and unpleasantly rubbery, a shadow of its former delicious self. For someone with a youthful and robust digestive system, this might just be a minor culinary disappointment or a slight inconvenience. But as we age, our body's natural production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach and various digestive enzymes in the pancreas and small intestine naturally declines. This makes it progressively harder for our bodies to effectively break down these tougher, recooked proteins. The direct result can be uncomfortable symptoms such as bloating, gas, indigestion, and a feeling of heaviness or sluggishness after a meal. This places a subtle but persistent stress on your digestive system that can easily go unnoticed or be attributed to other causes, yet it contributes to an overall decline in digestive wellness. The negative impact, however, extends far beyond simple digestive discomfort. The process of reheating proteins like chicken, especially at high temperatures, can lead to the formation of particularly harmful inflammatory compounds, most notably a class of substances known as advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs form when proteins and fats are exposed to sugars and high heat, a process that is dramatically accelerated during reheating. They are a significant and growing concern for long-term health and accelerated aging. Chronic, low-grade inflammation, often fueled by dietary factors like AGEs, is now recognized by the vast majority of the medical community as a root cause or a major contributing factor in nearly all major age-related diseases. This is not just about the familiar aches and pains of joint inflammation. This slow-burning fire within the body is directly linked to an increased risk of heart disease, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes, kidney damage, and even devastating neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's and dementia. Over time, a consistent diet that regularly includes reheated proteins can significantly add to the body's total inflammatory load, gradually wearing down its natural resilience and leaving you more vulnerable to these chronic conditions. The best and simplest way to enjoy chicken is to eat it fresh, straight after it has been properly cooked. If you do have leftovers, the safest, healthiest, and often most delicious way to consume them is cold. Shred leftover roasted chicken into vibrant salads, mix it into a whole wheat wrap with hummus and fresh vegetables, or use it to make a classic chicken salad sandwich on sourdough bread. This approach completely bypasses all the risks associated with the reheating process. If you feel you absolutely must warm it up, please avoid the microwave. Instead, use a gentle low-heat method like warming it for a few minutes in a skillet on the stovetop with a splash of broth to retain moisture, or placing it in a low-temperature oven until just heated through. This more even and gentle heating helps to preserve the protein structure much better than a blast of microwave energy. By making these small but meaningful adjustments to your habits, you are doing more than just eating a meal. You are actively and consciously reducing an unnecessary and harmful inflammatory burden on your body, a powerful and proactive step toward protecting your long-term health, cognitive function, and overall vitality. Finally, we must examine why reheated mushrooms lose their precious nutritional balance and can become a source of trouble. Mushrooms are a unique and wonderful food, belonging to their own biological kingdom, distinct from plants and animals. They are beloved by chefs and home cooks alike for their rich, savory umami flavor, their satisfyingly meaty texture, and a host of truly impressive health benefits. Packed with a suite of B vitamins including riboflavin, niacin, and pantothenic acid, as well as fiber, selenium, potassium, and powerful antioxidants like ergothioneine, mushrooms are a fantastic addition to stir-fries, soups, stews, omelettes, and sauces. From delicate, savory creminies to large, hearty portobellos, different varieties of mushrooms offer a wide range of benefits for heart health, immune system support, and even disease prevention due to unique compounds like beta-glucans, which modulate immune responses. However, this culinary favorite has a very delicate constitution that is often underappreciated. Mushrooms are highly sensitive to the process of reheating, and this sensitivity can alter not just their taste and texture, but their very nutritional integrity, potentially disrupting your body's internal balance and causing digestive distress. Unlike most other, more robust vegetables, mushrooms possess a complex and fragile structure composed of delicate proteins and active enzymes. When you cook them fresh, these components break down in a controlled and beneficial manner, releasing their wonderful earthy flavors and making their valuable nutrients more bioavailable for your body to absorb. However, reheating them, especially with the high, uneven, and intense heat of a microwave, causes these delicate proteins to degrade even further. They can break down into new forms that are difficult for the human body to properly process, often leading to digestive upset, significant bloating, uncomfortable gas, or a heavy, unsettled feeling in your stomach. For older adults whose digestive systems may already be operating with less efficiency and fewer enzymatic resources, this can easily turn a once beneficial and enjoyable food into an unexpected source of considerable discomfort and indigestion. Beyond the immediate digestive consequences, a deeper and more systemic issue arises with improperly handled and reheated mushrooms: the generation of oxidative stress. When mushrooms are stored improperly after their initial cooking, for instance, in a tightly sealed plastic container where moisture gets trapped, creating an anaerobic environment, and then reheated, their delicate fats and protein structures can rapidly oxidize. This chemical process forms harmful compounds that contribute to cellular damage and inflammation throughout your entire body. Oxidative stress is now understood by scientists to be a key driver of the aging process itself, as well as a contributing factor in the development of many chronic diseases. It fuels the low-grade systemic inflammation that is linked to everything from cardiovascular disease and arthritis to premature skin aging and cognitive decline. Consuming foods that contain these oxidized compounds places an extra and unnecessary burden on your body's finite antioxidant defenses, which can manifest as persistent fatigue, brain fog, a weakened immune system, and a general feeling of being unwell. The noticeable sensory changes that occur in reheated mushrooms are your first and most obvious clue that something is amiss from a chemical standpoint. Freshly cooked mushrooms are characteristically tender, juicy, and bursting with their signature savory flavor. After being cooled, stored, and then reheated, they often become unpleasantly rubbery, slimy in texture, and their once rich taste becomes muted, bland, or even slightly sour. This is not merely a culinary disappointment, it is a visible, tangible sign of profound nutritional degradation. It's as if the food itself is sending you a warning signal. To minimize these risks and continue enjoying these fantastic fungi, it is always best to cook only the amount of mushrooms you plan to eat in one sitting. If you do find yourself with leftovers, store them in a breathable container in the refrigerator, perhaps a bowl covered with a paper towel, and strongly consider enjoying them cold the next day. They are surprisingly delicious, tossed into a fresh green salad with a light vinaigrette or added to an antipasto platter. If you are determined to reheat them, it is absolutely essential that you do so very gently on the stovetop over low, controlled heat, just until they are warmed through. By handling these delicate and nutritious fungi with the care and respect they deserve, you ensure that you are getting all of their amazing and unique health benefits without any of the hidden and unpleasant downsides. As we conclude our journey through the kitchen's hidden pitfalls, we hope you feel more empowered and informed, ready to view your daily meals through a new lens of scientific awareness. Knowledge is, without a doubt, the most powerful and transformative tool for building a healthier, more vibrant life, and sometimes the most profoundly impactful changes begin not with grand gestures, but with the small, everyday habits we so often take for granted. Reflect for a moment on the surprising insights you have gained. Perhaps it was the startling revelation about the chemical transformation of reheated spinach from a nutritional hero into a potential source of carcinogens, or the invisible risk of botulism toxins lurking in a seemingly innocent, foil-wrapped potato left on the counter. Maybe you were struck by the subtle ways that reheated chicken and eggs, staples of so many healthy diets, could be contributing to the very inflammation and digestive distress you are trying to combat. We encourage you to take this newfound awareness and apply it thoughtfully and consistently, making mindful choices that honor the intricate biology of your body and support your long-term vitality. This is not about creating a rigid set of restrictive rules or adding stress to the joyful act of cooking and eating. Instead, it is about cultivating a deeper relationship with your food, understanding that how you prepare, store, and consume it is just as important as what you choose to eat in the first place. By rethinking these simple, common kitchen practices, by choosing to enjoy your leftover chicken cold in a salad, by gently warming your frittata on the stovetop instead of blasting it in the microwave, or by simply cooking a smaller batch of mushrooms to begin with, you are not just avoiding potential risks. You are actively and intentionally investing in a brighter, healthier, and more energetic future. You are taking control, reducing the inflammatory load on your system, supporting your digestive health, and protecting your precious cognitive function for the decades to come. See your kitchen not as a minefield of potential dangers, but as your personal laboratory for well-being, where every choice is an opportunity to nourish yourself on the deepest level.